there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back, listeners, to Horror for the Holidays. This is not going to be your conventional episode. This time, we're trying out a new concept that we're calling Stocking Stuffers, where we're going to talk about things that are a little more recent in the headlines, you might say. So what did we see last week, Jay?
Wow. Yeah, that's real weird. I don't know what to do with all that. Real fast. I'm Jay Logston. That's Jeff Searcy.
I am.
I mean, you probably know that, but maybe you don't. Every like Stanley used to say, every comic is potentially someone's first comic. Every episode is potentially someone's first episode.
And if that is, I'm sorry.
Like Jeff said, this is a stocking stuffer episode. We're trying out something a little different.
Yeah, just a little bit more of like a discussion type thing. We're going to talk about some more recent movies that are out in theaters right now.
More loosey-goosey kind of discussion. We're not going to go full spoiler. We're both going to be a little busy during the Thanksgiving thing, and it was going to be hard to put out a full-length episode or a full-sized episode, so we thought we'd do something a little different, especially with some new fun movies coming out, and we could promote some other stuff at the end, maybe.
Yep, we could. I mean, pretty much we could do whatever we want. This is going to be our whatever we feel like show.
Yeah, loosey-goosey, timey-wimey. That's Doctor Who.
We don't have to do any kind of full review of anything. You're not going to have, like, if you want to go see these movies, we're not going to lay it out plot point by plot point. So you can still go see it after you listen to this.
Yeah. We went last Friday. We went and saw It's a Wonderful Knife. And then last night, we're recording this on Friday, the 17th of November, we saw Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did.
Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Which apparently was based on his Grindhouse concept. I kind of wondered, because I vaguely remembered that. And I was like, did he do that trailer? And
he did.
Yes, it turns out he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it was, as soon as I heard it, I went like, oh shit, we're finally getting it. Do we want to start with the more recent movie? The one we saw more recently?
Nope, let's start with It's a Wonderful Knife.
Oh, perfect. All right.
We saw it first, so we might as well talk about it first.
All right. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I'm sure we both saw trailers for this. I know I did. And so what were your expectations going into this? What did you think was going to happen in this movie? Were you excited for it?
So I think I heard about it, and I first maybe told you about it maybe in like June or July of this year. I know we mentioned it on the Matt Dupay episode briefly. We also talked about Werewolf Santa.
I mean, of course.
But like I said, I heard about it like June, July, and instantly I was like, knowing very little about it, just the name of the movie. I went like, this premise sounds amazing. Like, and basically it's a slasher version of It's a Wonderful Life. The trailer seemed to pretty much promise that, like.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much got the one thing that was kind of weird in the trailer was it seemed like they didn't really want to reveal the tone, whether it was going to be more funny or more like dark and twisted, and I think it kind of struck an interesting balance between the two.
Yeah. The trailer, the one thing I liked, and maybe your mileage may vary. But I liked that they laid out pretty much, if you've seen the trailer, it's a no surprise. They laid out pretty much who the killer was from the beginning. You know who it is.
Yeah.
And then
even how he gets killed.
Yeah. You get that time, you get that thing where, it's a wonderful life. I wish I had never been born, blah, blah, blah. And the killer's still at it. And there is a little bit of a twist at the end there. But then, oh, hey, the killer's still about how did the killer survive? Mm-hmm. And so a complaint that I've heard from a lot of people is like sometimes the trailers reveal too much, but like you kind of need to know who the killer is for like the whole plot to make sense. So I kind of like that for the trailer.
I know. I thought the trailer was pretty good overall. But yeah, it kind of left the tone of mystery. It also kind of left some of the aspects, because it's got like sort of a Scream vibe to it almost, with it's like, is the angel one person? Is the angel multiple people? It kind of leaves that unclear in the trailer too, which I liked.
Yeah, you mentioned that too. The Scream vibe. I read online. I've not. I don't remember exactly what it was now. You know, I read it and it left my brain. But that essentially like the angel idea was kind of like the original Ghostface costume. Like apparently the original Ghostface idea was more of like a white costume,
right,
and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Also, the town Angel Falls, every time they said it in the movie, reminded me of Angel Grove from Power Rangers.
It made me think of, I mean, a lot of movies do this, honestly. Alan Wake, did you ever play that on the 360?
Yes,
like I think it was like Bright Falls or Bright Springs or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, the movie Darkness Falls also kind of makes me think of that.
Darkness Falls. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting, and when we saw who was in it in the trailer, that also made me more interested. I mean, Joel McHale's always great.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, you and I are both big Community fans. Mm-hmm. Like it's. I think you and I have both basically said that's one of our favorite shows. Like, you know, Joel McHale's in something. Oh, gotta see that. Plus Justin Long.
Oh my God, yeah, true. It's like I mean, this is not a spoiler. This is in the trailer. As soon as he was unmasked as the killer, I'm like, okay, Justin Long is an insane murderer. I'm in for this.
Yeah, like so good. I mean, you know, people call him the Scream King. That's kind of the nickname he's gotten. Yeah. And like, no, any horror movie with Justin Long in it is absolutely worth seeing at this point. Like, whether it's Jeepers Creepers or Barbarian or whatever.
I thought the weapon they chose for the angel was kind of cool too. The knife with like the little wing motif, kind of like a medieval weapon almost.
Yeah, you see that on the posters and stuff like that. And
they're pushing that heavily in the marketing. And I like the kind of hood it has to the costume, where it does kind of look like maybe a halo, like with that gold fabric. I thought it was pretty cool. And yeah, the poster definitely grabs your eye, because even my wife, who hates horror movies, saw the poster at the movie theater and was like, hey, that's pretty cool.
And even they, you know, because I don't know that I would put that angel on top of my tree, but like they established that is the angel they put on top of like the town tree every year, because like
that was a nice touch. Yeah.
Because they show that in like one of the opening scenes of the movie is like, oh, here's the town Christmas tree with an angel on top, and it looks just like the angel killer.
Drawing a little connection between these two, we both have terrible, crass businesses. This is the main antagonist.
Yep. No, Michael Kennedy, I think that's the creator of It's a Wonderful Knife, has basically dubbed this weekend Knifesgiving. Go see a double feature of It's a Wonderful Knife and Thanksgiving. Like,
I mean, you wouldn't regret it if you did.
But yeah, kind of. We kind of just started leaning into general discussion, right? Like,
oh yeah. Henry Waters. That's yes, and he's trying to form like basically his own like giant shopping center / retail empire.
No, like what, you know, if you've seen It's a Wonderful Life, if you even know about it through cultural osmosis, just, you know, gleaning it by existing in society and having It's a Wonderful Life also exist. You know that a guy basically kind of gets swindled out of his money or something, and, you know, kind of ruins the town by you know, making a bad decision with a businessman, and, you know, thinks he's ruined Christmas for everyone, wishes that, you know, he had never been born. Maybe everyone would be better off if he hadn't done this. Wakes up in a world where everything's actually worse.
Well, see, and in that case, I think it would have been better if he hadn't been born. No. God, that movie, I don't know. It's like, see, he's the opposite, it seems like, of the character in this movie. He just, like, is a nonstop whiner, basically, through the entire thing. Like, oh, woe is me, I'm terrible, I'm stupid.
No, certainly, I certainly find the maybe the two protagonists even of It's a Wonderful Knife, I find them both more charming than George Bailey.
More compelling to me, and just a more interesting story, I think. Well, and it's like, she actually has a positive outcome before she wishes she was never born.
Yeah.
He has the reason he wishes he was never born is because something negative happened to him.
Right. No, the town is better, but her life is worse.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of like depressed. Yeah, we're not going to go into why her life is worse, but
it's kind of, it's a reverse. It's a Wonderful Life almost. Like
Yeah.
it's better for everyone else, but worse for her.
yeah. And so like it makes, so more kind of that teen angst kind of feel. Like she goes, I wish I'd never been born because like, sure, everything else is better for everyone else, but her life is markedly worse, like just because of the things that have happened since. And it's more personal things, but I think we've all felt that way. Like, even though things are actually going well, you're focusing on the bad things that are happening.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of gave me a little bit of like I would say, well, I mean, it's really Groundhog Day, but it reminded me more of the tone in Happy Death Day, too.
Which I think maybe someone involved with this was also involved with Happy Death Day in some way. I know certainly Freaky. I was going to say Rob Schneider, but it's not him. It's Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Those are two completely different actors. But the Freaky movie where the kind of Freaky Friday, but with a slasher.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, that's what that kind of like I think maybe Michael Kennedy or someone was involved with that and maybe was involved with Happy Death Day in some way. And yeah, did kind of have that same feeling.
But it's just, it's kind of weird to me that both of these movies came out so close to each other. They're both clearly inspired by like that Scream type of legacy. And they're both holiday horror, but both different holidays. They just happen to land on one weekend after another.
No, you saying that for the Scream thing really stood out for me. I think with It's a Wonderful Knife, it didn't hit me till today, like the day after seeing Thanksgiving, that I went like, oh shit, like this is no, it is absolutely like the Scream model. Like,
I mean, even down to the main group of kids being a bunch of high schoolers.
Yep. No, just completely missed all of that. Like, and then I think I read something today where someone was like, Thanksgiving, it's a headline. Thanksgiving is the best Scream movie since Wes Craven stopped directing Scream movies.
I mean, that's what I was thinking about on the drive over here. I was like, that really felt to me like one of like the first 3 Scream movies. Like that kind of old nostalgic feeling. Because it's got like that tone of I mean, we're getting off the movie we're talking on, but I mean, honestly, they both balance comedy with like a horror in a really nice balance, and they both reference. There's references in both of them to like how to survive a slasher movie, just like in Scream and the things you're not supposed to do.
I think you and I were leaving the theater last night. And I was like, oh, it was really funny when character X said, "I'll be right back." Yes. And I think I turned to you and I was like,
yeah,
like just pointing at the screen.
I mean, and Thanksgiving. Oh, actually, in Thanksgiving, I was very happy they said the thing. I do not remember them saying the thing.
Yeah, they didn't say It's a Wonderful Knife. Yes. It's a Wonderful Life. Well, I think they did mention It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, they did mention It's a Wonderful Life because they, the two people who ended up being our main characters, say that one's George Bailey and the other one's Clarence.
Yep. And then I think it kind of switches at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's kind of one of the. I mean, it's got honestly. It's a Wonderful Knife turned into more of like a feel-good movie at the end than I was expecting.
No, same. But it was fun and it was really heartwarming. The one kind of complaint I had, and I said this to you for It's a Wonderful Knife, and this is the dumbest of dumb complaints, is we've always said there's a sweet spot for these Christmas horror movies, and it's not It's a Wonderful Knife's fault. But I left the theater and I went, I want to go drive around and look at Christmas lights, but it's still early November. And not everyone has Christmas lights up yet.
No, I think I agree with you. I think It's a Wonderful Knife would have been better like a week after Thanksgiving.
Yep. And I'm sure they had no say in when it got released.
Oh, no. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it got a theatrical release at all.
No, I saw close to $600,000 in like 900 some theaters, like a very limited release, like
so
pretty good.
It made a decent chunk of money, for being a limited release, but I'm honestly surprised. But I mean, I guess Shudder does have more pull than they used to, so that could be why.
Well, and Shudder is owned by AMC. Luckily, we still have one AMC theater here in Des Moines.
Yes, literally one.
And so we were able, because I was sitting there. I mean, not last Friday, because that's when we went and saw it, but the Friday before, I was sitting literally checking Fandango. Are we going to get a showing? And I would check it every single day, waiting for the announcement. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I finally said to Jeff, "Hey, there's going to be 2 showings. Let's go see it."
Yep, they were showing it in one theater, down the end of a dingy hallway.
Yeah, when that theater opened, I mean, man, we're getting real in the weeds here.
No, it's whatever.
That was the preeminent theater in the Des Moines area, and it has fallen away so badly.
No, I remember when that opened up. It's the AMC in Johnston. Honestly, I think the advantage of it is it has 16 theaters, and so that's why they can show these smaller things too. But yeah, I remember it being oh yeah, you got to go out and see that one. You got to see these new giant screens they got out there.
I'm trying to think back. Because I saw X there as well, and that was more just based off of time than it was, best theater available kind of situation. I think if it hadn't been time related, we would have either gone to the Palms or Flicks. But we went and saw X there, and I was just trying to think back. After I left there, I was like, what movies have I seen here? And other than, I want to say Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I was supposed to see the 2000s Texas Chainsaw Massacre there, but I got kicked out of the theater. Because I was too young, even though they sold me the ticket.
Nice.
I saw Pokemon, the Entei movie, the unknown Entei movie. I think that's the third one.
Yeah, that's Pokemon 3, yeah.
And Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. So I had a real hodgepodge of just
that
classic movies.
Back when it was Carmike still, right?
Yeah, and then I think I saw Star Wars Episode 1 there, the Phantom Menace. Probably multiple times I saw it there.
So yeah, I was a more frequent patron of the South Side one because that was the one closest to my grandparents' house. So we would drop the younger kids off there and then go see movies.
But yeah, that was that's kind of my I was just kind of trying to think back. I'm this theater is just falling on hard times, like we said.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think AMC in Iowa in general seems like it has. Cinemark has really become dominant in this area. Almost everything is Cinemark. No.
Last year, kind of trying to loop back to more the movie discussion. We went last year when Christmas Bloody Christmas had a limited theatrical release. There, Altoona and West Des Moines were both AMCs at the time, and they were both showing it. And it was I just couldn't make it out there, based off of time. Because by the time I saw there was a showing, I was like, oh, cool. I have 20 minutes to either make it out to Jordan Creek or Altoona. I'm not going to make it in 20 minutes. And so, so I missed seeing that on the big screen. So now we're down to one AMC, and hopefully it stays around. It stays in AMC for another year. So, if Shudder gets another, Christmas horror movie next year and gets a limited release, we get it, because otherwise we're driving to Omaha.
Either that or I think Cedar Rapids might have one. Oh, Jay's knocking things over.
Yeah. What else is new?
But yeah, I mean, Cinemark does do some of the smaller movie releases too, but their theaters generally aren't as big. They'll have 10 to 12 screens usually, and so sometimes they just don't have the room.
But I mean, back to It's a Wonderful Knife. It felt it was a fun movie. And I think we're gonna say that about both movies. They were very fun. They were both a blast to watch. Small things that I've kind of seen both online and kind of my personal thoughts, that are, a little on the negative side. I still think they're both worth seeing. It's certainly worth seeing. A lot of fake blood.
Yeah.
A lot of that fake blood splatter.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I mean, CGI blood is
And, and whatever, I'm sure it's partially budget related and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it could be, but I mean, I don't, I should look that up, see what the budgets for these two movies were reported as, because Thanksgiving has some great blood effects.
But the other thought I kind of had, the other thing that kind of was in my mind, or like that I kind of saw people saying, and like I don't know that I disagree with or agree with this as much, but I saw some people being like, I was confused, like where because at a certain point, like Justin Long's character like winds up with powers, and they were like, did he have powers the whole time? And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure there's clearly a moment where they're like, oh no, like the timeline's changing because we did XYZ. I'm not, again, like I said, we're trying to avoid spoilers, and he got more powerful because of it.
Well, and yeah, see, that was one of the complaints I had with it too. Was it seemed like that they were going for like a Scream type thing, and then they pivoted to this supernatural thing like in the middle of the movie, and then well, I don't really want to spoil it at the end, but a part at the end really made no sense. If they're going for the It's a Wonderful Life thing, then one part at the end makes absolutely no sense.
No, that was if you and I are thinking about the same kind of moment, that was a little weird. But like the only way I could kind of like compartmentalize it in my brain was like they both because they said the line where like, oh no, it was I was Clarence the whole time, like you were George Bailey.
And so like it just seemed like they got to the end of the script and they're like, all right, we need a way to put a bow on this so we can finish this up. And
so I think that's the only way that kind of worked. And like, it was a little weird, but that was I think the most glaring kind of continuity issue. But
I mean, like I said, I would say a fun movie, but I wouldn't say like an amazing movie or anything. I mean, it's not like a Gremlins. It's not a Krampus, something like that.
No, we had a couple things we just kind of wanted to highlight. Like I said, not full on review.
Yeah, Jay, what was your favorite kill?
I think it was the drug dealer neighbor.
Drug dealer.
I don't remember the guy's name. The outside on the deck, with all the Christmas lights. I thought that was a really fun kill.
Yeah, I like that one too. I like the candy cane kill.
Oh, do I remember that? Oh yeah, that's the like I think the first kill maybe, or maybe the second one.
To,
early on.
Yeah, early, but I thought it was good, and it was an actual themed Christmas kill, which I was kind of like, that's Christmas slasher. I wish you could have killed people with more Christmas things.
No, that was I thought that one was really funny too, because it was like we had just finished watching Anna and the Apocalypse with that candy cane, and then we got another candy cane thing.
That was pretty funny. But I thought that was my favorite kill. What would you say was your favorite character in the movie?
So I mean, Justin Long was fantastic as Harold Waters, is that what we said?
Henry Waters.
Henry Waters. Yeah. He was great. I loved his idiot brother.
Yes.
Like his doofy brother.
Yeah. Very doofy.
Where like at one point he's like, oh, Merry Christmas, you can see my dong on OnlyFans or something like that. I thought that was really silly.
When he starts up like his TikTok and he's like, I hope what you wanted for Christmas was my dong.
Yeah. Joel McHale's great and everything. But I think the aunt, like you and I said, like there wasn't. I wanted more of her. She was so fun. Like she was so silly and like was just a blast in that movie. I don't know who the actress was, but she was great.
Yeah, I would agree. She was. I think I'm still gonna go Justin Long for my favorite. He's just, I mean, especially towards the beginning of the movie when he's trying to strong arm an old man out of his family home.
Right.
He is just like, he's got that amazing balance between like coming off like he's your friend, but also like slipping in like that venom into the conversation.
Oh no, he is so sinister and like so goofy.
It's like even when he's just doing something, like when he just tells his brother like, we need to find who's doing these killings or whatever, and he kind of looks at him afterwards, and you're like, I think he's really thinking about just murdering his brother right now.
Yeah. Well, and they gave Justin Long like those veneers, those fake teeth, and it makes him look so much like goofier. It's great.
Yeah, it makes him look like such an asshole. I don't know what it is about those veneers, but they make everybody look like an asshole. So what would you say overall, Jay? If you were to see this movie in your stocking, would you be excited or would you be like, I've seen better?
No, I think it, I don't think it will be out by Christmas, but if I can, if I got this in my stocking for Christmas, I think I'd be excited.
Maybe Andrea will get you a Shudder subscription card.
I already got one. But no, I
But
think
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, just your final thoughts on it. Would you recommend people go see it?
absolutely. I think this is a fun movie. This is probably the way I've kind of like been thinking about it, especially with the announcement of there's another movie coming out this year. We'll kind of talk about it, a little more at the end, called The Sacrifice Game. And what I've seen, kind of the thought I had was, The Sacrifice Game is this year's The Leech, and It's a Wonderful Knife is this year's Christmas Bloody Christmas. Not that they are necessarily the same, like by really any means, but like in tone and kind of like thematic setting. Christmas Bloody Christmas and It's a Wonderful Knife have that, Christmas lights, slasher, more themes, where Sacrifice Game and appears to be more in the religious aspect, more in the secular kind of feel, like The Leech was. And so I'm like, it has me also excited for Sacrifice Game. But anyone who's listened to this podcast knows Christmas Bloody Christmas is one of my favorite movies that's come out in recent years.
So that's a recommend from Jay to
Absolutely.
see this. For me, it is a recommend, but I would just give the caveat that if you're expecting like a brutal slasher movie, you're not going to get that. If you're expecting like a dark tone to it, you're really not going to get much of that either. It's more, honestly, like I said, it took like an uplifting turn at the end that I wasn't really expecting, which wasn't like unwelcome. It fits with the story all right. But yeah, it's not like your traditional slasher movie, I would say.
More of a Christmas comedy, I think,
Yeah.
or like a horror comedy. Like has a lot of those elements, but also you look at the cast and that kind of fits as well.
But yeah, there's nothing particularly like brutal or anything in it. It's more of a tame, like kind of like almost like a Scream, more tame kills than like brutal kills.
If this was a Joe Bob, if this was an episode of The Last Drive-In, you would have kind of that fun kind of more feel-good kind of horror movie, and they, because that usually seems to be what they do. They kind of do a tonal switch between the two movies. Not always. I think like sometimes it'll be two movies by the same director, but last year was for the Christmas episode was Don't Open Till Christmas, which is kind of a grittier, like bloodier, a little more goofier movie, and then it was A Christmas Horror Story, which is more, which is kind of a different kind of more of a fun movie, and so they kind of like complement each other in that way, and like this would be kind of that fun kind of palate cleansery movie, leading into, like we said, Knifesgiving into Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving, Jay. Where do you want to start with this one?
Trailer, right? Yep. I remember. Do you remember the old Nova Theater over on Merle Hay Road?
Yes.
It was a $5 theater that showed. First run movies a lot. I think that's where I saw what's the and it's where I saw Grindhouse, but it's also where I saw Cabin in the Woods, which is another favorite of mine. I'm sure it's a favorite of everyone's. It's a fun movie.
It's a really good movie.
And so I was, I was kind of thinking about it, and I remember like. I liked Grindhouse a lot. Planet Terror and Death Proof, I think, were both a lot of fun. I never went and saw Machete after like it actually came out, but this is kind of that following of, we got that trailer for Machete, and then 5 years later we got Machete. We've got that trailer for Thanksgiving, and we've finally gotten Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And a couple of the scenes were a little different than in the Thanksgiving trailer. I think the trampoline kill was slightly different this time around.
Yeah.
But no, I'd been waiting for Thanksgiving. Like I was like, I hope they make this. This looks like so much fun.
Yeah. So what did you think of the actual trailer they put out for the movie?
Did what it's supposed to do. Made me want to go see the movie.
Yeah. I thought I liked it because it left a lot up to speculation. They really didn't reveal too much.
Yep.
And they kind of, honestly, they hid one of the most shocking moments of the movie too by substituting in a different scene.
Oh, did they?
When he's setting the table in the trailer, yeah, it's not quite the same as when he's setting the table in the movie.
Oh, I'll have to go look that up and check that out. The thing that I liked is they they talked around the thing that happened, like, because they were like, oh, it's all the people involved in what happened a year ago. And so, you spend, when you go see the movie, you kind of spend that opening 15 minutes being like, okay, what happened a year ago?
Yeah, so what is going to prompt this murder spree? That's what you're kind of wondering. But yeah, no, I like that trailer style where it doesn't give away too much. It baits you in with, some of like the kills and things like that to get you interested, but doesn't really give too much of the plot away. I thought that definitely worked to this movie's advantage.
In the trailer, the Q-tip corn,
little corn skewers in the ear.
Yeah. I love like that. That's in the trailer, and like that is an incredibly brutal like moment, and like that's just the tip of the iceberg for some of the kills in this movie.
Yeah, they had that one in the trailer. They also had dunking the woman in the sink and then freezing her to the meat freezer door in the diner. Yeah, that one was brutal too. And I mean, you get the sense of how brutal it is in the trailer, but you don't know how brutal it's really going to be until you see it in the movie.
Yep. But yeah, no, the trailer sold me. I was, first appearance, first general thought. I saw that trailer and I was, I saw the trailer for Grindhouse, like I said, 10 plus years ago. I was in. I saw the trailer for Thanksgiving Now. Let's do this.
Yeah, I was in, but I was a little more skeptical of this one because of the fact that they left so much up to like your imagination in the trailer. Because It's a Wonderful Knife, you pretty much got everything in the trailer, basically the entire plot. And it's like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll go to that. This one was like, yes, I am interested, but it's like, will it be good? Will they pull this off? And I thought that kind of lent me a little more excitement to see Thanksgiving because I just didn't know what to expect.
Right. And I think the biggest thing for me, and I mentioned this to you last night when we left, the biggest thing for me was like, I'm not a huge Eli Roth fan.
Yeah, I am not either.
I saw Cabin Fever, and I don't remember much about it. People talk about scenes in Cabin Fever. I'm like, that was in Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
I saw Cabin Fever. I don't remember that in Cabin Fever. But like I saw Hostel, and like that was, I watched the whole thing. Didn't really bother me, but like I'm not a big fan of that torture porn kind of shit. And so like I never saw Hostel 2. Had no real interest. And so I was like, and then I never saw Green Inferno, although I've heard interesting things about it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went in and I went like, I don't know, I'm not a huge Eli Roth fan. I left that theater and I was like, no, Eli Roth needs to do more slasher movies. I think that was my number one takeaway. No,
I think he's really found his niche, I think. Not just horror in general, but slasher specifically, yeah. So what would you say your favorite kill in this one was?
Oh man.
Because there are so many to choose from. Obviously, we don't want to spoil too much, but.
So like probably actually my favorite kill was the kind of the opening John Carver kill.
Okay.
Was the you talked about the lady getting her head frozen.
Well, we could just call it the half off kill.
Yeah, like that one was so fun. I was laughing so hard at that one. There were some other, all the kills are good, but that one, like the entire theater was laughing by the time that kill was done.
This one, see, Thanksgiving in contrast to It's a Wonderful Knife. This is much more of your traditional slasher. It focuses heavily on the kills, especially the brutality of some of the kills. And but it does still maintain that kind of comedic tone to a lot of it. And also, not just like a comedic tone, but like the disdain for, because obviously you can't call it Walmart. So they have Right Mart.
Yep.
And I think also this pairs well with the current economic situation as we're going into Black Friday because everybody's money is tight right now. People have been struggling to get by the last couple of years, so I wouldn't surprise me if there's some fights at this Black Friday event. Which that's kind of a famous trope anymore. At the beginning of Krampus, they've got people beating the shit out of each other trying to get Christmas toys.
They've got that at Krampus. They've got that at Black Friday.
Mm-hmm, yes, just Black Friday in general. Yeah, but yeah, that's they make that clear in the trailer too, so that's not really spoiling anything. That this is taking place on Thanksgiving Eve / beginning of Black Friday.
Yeah, but no, and I mean, there, the mystery around everything is so good. Like, they kind of keep everything secret. They did a great job, like you said in the trailer. You don't really know who the killer is. That was more instrumental to It's a Wonderful Knife than it was to this one.
Yeah.
But the it grabs you. The kills are brutal. Like, some of the stuff is real gory, but it's not, it's not the kind of thing that makes me go, like I've said before, kind of turns me off of a movie because it's so funny. It's played so comedically.
Yeah, I mean, definitely insanely brutal things, but it never feels it never feels disgusting, I would say.
Yeah.
There's some slasher movies that kind of devolve to just like a disgusting place, and this never feels like it really goes there.
No, like, you see guts, you see entrails, you see all that stuff, you see dismemberments, but yeah, none of it feels like, too gross. Like,
I mean, I'm not going to spoil too much, but you see cannibalism.
Yep. Or at least hinted at cannibalism.
Yes, attempted cannibalism.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, just, I mean.
We'll just say, I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll just say that John Carver is a friend of felines, too.
No, yeah, that was a great moment.
That was so great. It's just, but I mean, and another thing I love about this is, because in Scream, you kind of feel like the kids don't really deserve what they're getting. In this one, basically all but one of the people involved, you feel like they're kind of getting what they deserve.
Yeah, no, I one or two. Like,
yeah, I mean,
granted, one of the guys I think already kind of got his punishment, and that's why he's not targeted.
Yeah,
but yeah, the kind of the main character doesn't really deserve it as much as everyone else does.
You have to have that one main anchor that you can sympathize with. But yeah, the group of friends that gets targeted, a lot of them, you're like, I really hope this guy gets killed.
No, they were the friends are so annoying. It's one of those, like, I can't wait to watch these people get killed. Especially the friend with kind of the shaggy hair. The football player with the
Ethan. Yeah.
I was so desperate to watch him get killed.
And they make you wait so long.
But it was so worth it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was great. I just, it really, you don't feel the runtime either, because I was like, is this 2 hours? And yeah, it's pretty close to 2 hours. It does not feel like that at all while you're watching it.
Oh man, there was another one other thing I wanted to comment on is, if you're a real fan of the Boston accent,
you got some real Mark Wahlberg in here.
They're like, oh, I got to take a wicked pisser.
Yes, the incredibly grating New England accent will be on full display.
Like, it was so, and it was one of those things where, like, you got used to it. Like, you got used to all these people talking with the Boston accent, and then, like, every once in a while, like, it would just, like, hit me again. I'm like, oh man, there's that Boston accent again.
Oh, it's great to hear people argue about getting into a store on Black Friday in a Boston accent.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just. Oh, and the language in this movie. I thought that was, especially the way they talk to each other at the beginning, like when they're waiting in line for the sale.
They're just insulting each other like nonstop.
People are so hot. I mean, I guess it's just part of the stress of the situation. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard stuff like that come out of people's mouths in public before.
No, they're all fucking cursing up a storm at each other and shit. It is when I was in college and I was taking kind of mass media or mass comm classes, one of the things they brought up for, like, filmmaking is you want the conversations to feel real. Like sometimes a scripted conversation really sticks out. And there were moments where I was like, this dialogue feels really cringy, but maybe that's the way kids talk these days. Man, I sound like an old man.
Yeah.
Like,
we're just two old men here talking about clouds.
But I was just trying, I was sitting there and I was just like, man, some of this dialogue feels real cringy, but I'm also not.
We're not in that world anymore.
Yeah, I'm not. We're about 15 years removed from being teenagers.
Honestly, though, I was a little more prepared for it because my wife watches TikToks and Facebook Reels, and it's like, yeah, these kids all sound like the people on there.
But But that scene where they're all arguing feels like a real conversation, like felt real conversational tone.
Yeah.
Like, I think Eli Roth is good friends with Quentin Tarantino. It would not surprise me if he picked up some more of like that like dialogue stuff from Quentin Tarantino.
Definitely a lot of good dialogue exchanges in this. Also, the mystery of who John Carver is was done really well. And I don't think we were joking about it. I don't think we've ever seen a movie with this many red herrings before.
Absolutely. And that was the thing. Even I think you and I, it both kind of clicked for you and me at the same time that like who the killer was. Cause you turned to me and you're like, oh, it's that person. And it did wind up being that person. But I was even waiting until after that reveal. Like, I'm like, it could still be someone else.
Oh no, they did an excellent job of setting it up where there's so many people with motivation to do this that it really is just like a guess. I mean, we didn't figure it out until like 10 minutes before the actual reveal.
Yep.
Which, I mean, is for people who've seen as many slasher movies as us, is pretty unusual.
No, it had me guessing right up until the end, which, unlike the new Scream, where I think I at least had two of the people pegged almost immediately.
Oh my God, yeah. The third one was a mystery for a little while longer, but yeah, two of them was like, yeah, you guys are definitely murderers.
But yeah, this one was spot, like, I was sitting there and like literally the killer is about to reveal themselves. And I'm still sitting there and, like I said, you said to me, or you whispered to me, you're like, that's the killer. And I was still sitting there like, but it could be like four other guys. Like,
no, I wasn't 100% sure, but I had that feeling like that, and you feel like you're looking at the murderer.
Yeah. And sure enough, it did wind up being that person. But yeah, right up until the end, you're kind of guessing. You're like,
it was more that end situation there where it's like something stinks about this situation. It doesn't feel quite right.
I would like to go back and watch it again. I mean, of course I want to see it again. It was a blast. But I want to go back and watch it again and just see if like the killer is missing in the key scenes.
Well, and knowing his motivation now, that was interesting too.
Yeah.
Because they never try to frame. What is it? 5 or 6 different guys have a motivation to do it.
Yep.
And I mean, they also make it a point to highlight that they all have opportunity to do it because they're all missing at different points in the movie, and no one can get a hold of them. I mean, and there's a moment I think where they kind of clear it off during the parade. Two of my primary suspects were there together at the parade, so I'm like, well, then it definitely can't be them.
Right. Oh man, that parade scene was great too.
That was so great.
But no, all the kills are great. Like it felt it. I got home. My wife asked me how it was, and I was like, "This is a movie I want to watch every Thanksgiving." Like there are other Thanksgiving horror movies, not a lot. I mean, Black Friday is kind of a Thanksgiving, kind of it's a Black Friday movie. It's kind of Thanksgiving, kind of Christmas.
Yeah.
Christie takes place during Thanksgiving, but isn't really Thanksgiving.
No, I would say this is probably to Thanksgiving tradition what Trick or Treat is to Halloween tradition.
Yep.
Like making the holiday such a central part of the movie.
One thing I do want to shout out, and I know we said like no spoilers, so if skip ahead a minute or so, the opening scene with the breathing and the POV shot and the person approaching the front door.
Yeah.
Just like Michael in Halloween. They knew exactly what they were doing, and I loved that so much. That was my favorite part of the whole movie. Like,
and I loved how they set up the mask for the killer as like a free mask that they just hand out to everybody, because this is set. Obviously, one of the reasons Thanksgiving is so big in this town is because it's set in Plymouth, Massachusetts, like the godfather of Thanksgiving, basically. But yeah, so the killer's name is John Carver, and they hand out this cheap John Carver mask to like literally everybody in town.
That everybody's wearing.
Yeah, and that also adds to it too, where you see all the people. Honestly, it echoed to me during the parade scene, that point in Trick or Treat, when the creepy guy in the mask is staring at the woman at the beginning from across the street.
Yep.
But yeah, so many different people in the mask too really helps. But no, this was just a great movie. I mean, yeah, I think this one's going to stand the test of time. Definitely be a Thanksgiving classic, like you said.
And kind of left it open for sequels. Like, There's a potential for a sequel.
There is such good foreshadowing for a sequel, too. But if you aren't paying attention, you're going to miss it. But once you see the end, if you remember the moment I'm talking about now, you'll understand.
No, it's one of those things. I don't know that I want a sequel, but because I don't, could a sequel live up to how good this is? But also, I want a sequel because I want more movies in this vein.
That's another parallel with Trick or Treat. It's like we love Trick or Treat, and we wish there was Trick or Treat 2, but it's like, will Trick or Treat 2 be as good as Trick or Treat?
Right, exactly.
That's the thing.
And then, if we're following kind of the Halloween model, which is kind of what Thanksgiving's doing, are we going to, is it going to be revealed that the killer is secretly her dad or her brother or something, which hopefully they don't do.
Let's hope not, no. Which, I mean, it's such a good the mantle of John Carver is like an important figure in the town's lore. So, I mean, it could even be totally unrelated to this event.
Yep.
Somebody else could just take up the mantle.
More like a Scream.
Yeah.
But back to kind of the other, I guess we skipped kind of our other category or our other kind of talking point. Favorite character?
I'll say, for me, probably the gun nut high school kid.
He was really funny.
I love every interaction they had with him. I loved him. I wish they would have had a little bit more of him in the movie, honestly.
You and I had the same thought too. You because I thought I was real clever. Like I was like, because there was a moment where I'm like, oh, he's the killer, and I thought I was like so smart. And then you and I were talking about it, and you were like, oh, and when he did X, like I thought, oh, this guy's the killer, and I went, oh shit, Jeff and I were on the exact same page.
Yeah. Well, it's because we've seen so many of these, we know what to look for.
Yeah.
We know the signs or whatever. And I think Eli Roth must be like a master of manipulation because he throws you all these signs and then he's like, nope, actually no.
No, but the man, my favorite character. I liked Robbie a lot. He was a real neat character.
Yeah.
I had fun with that with his character. And then the security guard.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry, Jay. I didn't tell you I was in this movie.
No, he was a real J. Jeff. There's early on in the movie when kind of the whole inciting incident is happening. He's like, "Oh fuck, security, I'm out of here," or something like
security, fuck this,
and he runs off.
Yeah.
And then later on, like at one point, he goes, "I'm a security guard. I kill people every day."
Oh my god, there's so many funny lines in this, but I mean, it does a great job of balancing the tone. Because at moments it does feel very, like, you feel that sense of danger you get in, like, a scary, more brutal slasher movie. But, yeah, then in other moments you get that kind of lighthearted jokiness. The protesters for Reichmart on their side.
And then the other one was Thanksgiving, not thanks buying.
Yeah.
But then I also thought it was like, I'm like, their message is mixed because then the word thanks buying is crossed out.
I've noticed that on those signs too. That's pretty funny.
Also, there was one thing I didn't look it up. I'm actually going to look it up right now. There's like a nerdy kid that like goes to their school and is kind of their friends.
He's the younger brother of the, isn't he?
Yeah, and or something. And I was 100% convinced. I'm like, he looks like a young Steve Buscemi.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like, I'm looking right now, and I'm like, is he related to Steve Buscemi at all? And it does not appear that like Steve Buscemi has an acting child. But like, if they ever want to do like a Steve Buscemi like goes back in time to be like his younger self, that kid could play a young Steve Buscemi. Like,
no, I agree with you. Also, Rick Hoffman as the dad, I thought he was really good. He has that smug, like, you would expect tone from, like, a business owner guy who, I won't spoil too much, but let's just say he has the stereotypical ending for a rich guy.
Speaking of, like, veneers, like, it also looked like he had those big, like, pearly white fake teeth that I just loved so much. Like, another movie with kind of a similar, teeth situation.
Who was the sheriff? Was that Patrick Dempsey?
Yep.
Yeah, he did a great job. What was it? The Russian girl, Yulia.
Yep.
Yeah, and her Ivan Drago dad.
He was a blast. He was so fun.
Every time he came on the screen, Jay was laughing.
Every line of dialogue. We're going to Florida. Like, it was so good.
The nerdy kid, his name is Evan.
Okay.
I think, is the gun kid Lonnie?
I think the gun kid is Lonnie. Lonnie McSomething.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it like McCarthy Fest or something like that?
McCarty, something like that, yeah.
But
one of those Mick names.
Yeah, but yeah, just oh my gosh, what a movie!
I mean, you definitely need to see this one. This is like 2 big thumbs up from me.
No, yeah, get if you got this in your stocking on Thanksgiving,
I would be hopefully you won't get it on Thanksgiving
on Christmas. Those Thanksgiving stockings everyone
We're
gets.
mixing up all of our metaphors. Oh no. So I'm gone off the rails.
If you got this in your basket on trick or treat night,
if you found this stuffed in your turkey, Jay, how would you react?
I'd be really excited.
I would be too. Don't worry, we're both just dying of the plague.
Oh man,
that was another unexpected gift from It's a Wonderful Knife.
Yeah,
we picked up some kind of plague.
Yeah, Jeff and I both got sick at the exact same time. Nothing bad. We just both got a cold at the exact same time.
It's your if you live in the Midwest, it's your standard change of season Midwestern upper respiratory cold.
Yeah, but yeah, just oh my gosh, what a fun.
Just absolutely brutal.
I had another thought and it just completely slipped my mind. Oh, the one thing I did want to say, and this is a weird thing to talk about. The trailers for It's a Wonderful Knife were better than the trailers for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I would say at building hype, yeah, I think A Wonderful Knife builds more hype.
Oh no, not that. I mean the trailers before the movie.
You're talking about the previews?
Yeah, okay. The previews. I mean, granted, we got for It's a Wonderful Knife, we got a preview for Thanksgiving, but we also got that preview for Founders Day, which I also thought was a preview for Thanksgiving. I was like, good. A Thanksgiving preview I haven't seen yet, and then it was a completely different movie. Yeah, because the only horror movie trailer we got for Thanksgiving was Night Swim, which we had also gotten for It's a Wonderful Knife, and both times Jeff and I were like, this looks insanely stupid. And they're just calling the movie Night Swim.
Which, I mean, of course I'll have to see it, but still.
It looked, oh my God, it looked so dumb.
And just to note how good the movie Thanksgiving is, we got the true movie theater experience at this one, and it was still amazing.
Yeah, someone brought their baby.
There was a toddler, maybe 2 or 3 years old, which obviously was not a good fit for this movie, behind us crying throughout the movie. And people in our row, literally doing he's behind you, bitch. He's behind you, bitch, during the movie. Turn around, bitch. So we got the full movie theater experience.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. Even with those things, the movie was fantastic.
But yes, it was just amazing. Recommend, definitely.
No, both of these are movies that I am going to pre-order as soon as pre-orders are available for physical copies.
Yes, I will definitely watch both of these again.
And both of these, will be added to our rotation for the podcast. Yes. And we'll do full on reviews when it gets, when they pop up or whatever.
Yeah, because we didn't want to spoil it for you guys since this is still in movie theaters. We don't want to lay out everything.
Yeah, but yeah, just oh my gosh, so much fun. Other things, kind of winding down here. Other things to highlight. I've been conversing with Matt on DMs, and we've been kind of pointing out movies that are sending each other kind of trailers and stuff back and forth. Shoot, hold on. Oh, cool. A bunch of my stuff is now missing because I think Elon got rid of ability to share things. Miracle or Nightmare on 34th Street.
Yep. I do remember that one. You telling me about that?
Shoot, yeah, I've lost 2 of them.
So you said you were going to talk more about the Sacrifice thing at the end.
Oh yeah, Sacrifice game is going to be coming to Shudder in a couple weeks. That is more, like I said, more secular in tone. Some girls are left in a Christian boarding school over Christmas break, and basically something some kind of a Manson family kind of shows up, but to free, potentially commit a sacrifice to free a demon.
Oh, okay.
But also, kind of felt like the Leech in tone too, because it's it's Christmas and they are bringing something into the world, and that's the Leech.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. I Slay on Christmas is one that Matt has pointed out. I'm trying to. I think there's one called like "There's Something in the Barn."
Okay.
Is one that is coming out. Mistletoe Massacre, I think, is one that is coming out.
Got a lot to look forward to.
A Nightmare at Precinct 84.
Interesting.
And then there's like two others that I'm one I think is called like Christmas Carnage or something like that.
Okay.
Or something like that, which looks insanely brutal. There's one scene where like someone's been basically like flayed apart and then their like pieces are being held out with Christmas lights.
Oh boy.
But yeah, those are all things that I think are supposed to come out this year. They all look fantastic. I wish I could remember everything, but like I said, Elon did something stupid with Twitter, so it's hard to keep track of stuff.
Well, we got a lot of stuff on the horizon to look forward to then.
A whole bunch of Christmas comics coming out. We shared the link on our Twitter for the pre-order or the like get the notification when Holiday Spirits 3 is available on Kickstarter. That just came out the other day. We've got like I said on Jerome, the episode with Jerome, there's going to be like a Silent Night, Deadly Night story of the Santa that kills Billy's parents. There's going to be like a comic about that coming out.
Interesting.
There's going to be a Creep Show Christmas comic. And the comic The Deviant just hit shelves this past Wednesday from Image, and it's amazing. And it's a Killer Santa kind of thing, and it kind of jumps around in time where like these events happened 50 years ago and now they're happening again, but they thought they had the killer apprehended, but now the killings are happening again.
Okay.
The Killer Santa looks brutal, like looks terrifying.
Cool.
The opening story, like it's one of those where like not a lot happens. I think it's only going to be 9 issues. It like not a lot happens, but also enough happens that makes you go like, what's going to happen in the next issue? Some of the kills look amazing. I literally finished reading it. And I went like, I want this to be adapted either into a TV show or a movie. Like it is that cool. Like I want to see this. I want to see this on the big screen or something.
Sounds cool.
So yeah, those are kind of some things I wanted to highlight real fast.
If you happen to live in a location near a Flicks brew house, they've announced their whole slate of Christmas things for next month.
Yeah. Which Anna and the Apocalypse and Krampus.
Yep. Anna Apocalypse, Krampus, Christmas Vacation, White Christmas, Elf, all your traditional ones, the Grinch.
Jeff and I hope to be at both Krampus and Anna and the Apocalypse, hopefully.
Yes, I think we could probably
at
do
Flicks.
that.
And then also our local theater, the Varsity, more of an independent theater, is doing they do a thing called like Midnights at 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they show kind of grindhouse horror movies, stuff like that at 10 o'clock on Thursdays. And they are doing, for Thanksgiving, they are doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think is a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
A movie about family coming together and enjoy a feast.
Exactly.
And then for Christmas, starting in December 7th is going to be Black Christmas 1974. Instantly in. Like that's, like I said, favorite movie of all time. Like I will absolutely be there for that. And then they're doing Deadly Games / Dial Code Santa Claus / whatever the third name is, the French movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely want to see that on the big screen. And then that'll be the 14th, and then the 21st is going to be Violent Night.
Yes.
And I have not seen that yet.
You haven't seen that yet? Oh my God.
And I will absolutely be there on the 21st to see Violent Night.
We're gonna have to do that.
I think we'll have to do all three.
I can't believe you haven't seen Violent Night yet.
I just got held off. Like I was like by the time I wanted to see it, I was like, oh, it's not really Christmas time anymore. And like, which I mean, for me, that doesn't matter, but it just kind of felt like, I'm like, it needs to be Christmas when I see this movie. Like,
all right. Well, you're not going to be disappointed.
So yeah, so we'll be, Jeff and I have a busy, 5 nights to go to Christmas movies, coming up.
It's going to be 5 nights at Jeff and Jay's.
So if anyone sees two fat guys, walking around at those movies, shout us out. Let us know. We'll,
tag us.
Yeah.
Like hashtag Jeff and Jay Fat.
Come up and talk to us and introduce yourselves. Just be nice to meet someone if they're there.
Yep, indeed.
But yeah, otherwise.
The This we have been Stocking Stuffers, and this has been Jeff and Jay. Oh shit, I messed it up, Jay. Wait a minute. We're Jeff and Jay, and this has been Stocking Stuffers.
Yeah, a horror for the holidays, stocking stuffer. Where we'll maybe do more of these as kind of time goes on, just different things to talk about.
Just let us know what you guys think. If you like it, we can do more of it. We're thinking about trying to do some more weekly content as we go forward because you guys seem to like it during the Spooktacular.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys did like this, and we'll kind of keep doing this. Like we said, it's a little more loosey goosey. We're not sticking so much to a rigid script design, so we're just kind of doing talking about whatever as it enters our brains.
But don't worry, regular Horror for the Holidays episodes will still happen. We're just kind of doing this one as a test and just as a kind of like a filler-in episode because everybody's so busy around the holidays.
Yeah, but hopefully in like 2 weeks, once December, we'll get back. We'll do a normal one.
We'll be doing a normal Horror for the Holidays,
and then certainly. Probably after that, we'll have to do Black Christmas 2006 and continue our tradition of a Black Christmas movie around Christmas.
I don't know. There might be some sort of Christmas spooktacular.
We'll see.
Oh, Jay is crying inside. His schedule's already booked.
Oh, man. No, well, we might be. Yeah, well, like we said, hopefully we can go weekly here at some point soon.
Yeah. But no, at the very least, we'll definitely be coming to you with a few regular Horror for the Holidays episodes in December. And maybe something special, who knows?
Yeah. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And we'll repeat that again.
I enjoyed talking about it. Yep. Follow us on all our social medias.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, not Facebook, Twitter, Q.
You know the thing, Jack. Yeah. Follow us on the things.
Yeah, all those. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.